Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be a live trade video where I try to capture some of my trades as they play out live. Couple quick clarifications. Number one, I am trading futures. If you don't know what futures are, they are awesome. And I will put a link down below in the description area to a totally free 4-part series that'll walk you through what futures are, how they work, and just one reason why they're awesome, especially for you stock and options traders that are annoyed and have to deal with that pattern day trading rule. In futures trading, there is zero pattern day trading rule. So that in and of itself and there's a lot of other great upsides, but that's one little thing that maybe piques your interest. And then the second thing, I am trading futures through a prop firm. What is a prop firm? How does a prop firm work? Which prop firm am I using? All that you can see at that link that you see at the top of the screen. I'll also put it down below. Make sure you use that link because that will also give you the current promotion if you do decide to get into the prop firm world, which I think has a whole lot of advantages. But in a nutshell, prop firms are a way for you to put very little of your money at risk, but then you have a whole lot of upside potential. So that's, like I said, just the nutshell version of it. But if you want to learn more, definitely check out that link. So I've actually already made a couple trades. The other thing about futures is they're pretty much open around the clock. So I've already made some trades and up 152 right there. But the action really picks up when the stock market opens at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, although this action here has been pretty nice already. But I will pause the screen recording software for now, and I'll be back as soon as I find a potential trade. All right, looking for potential short down through the trend line there. I mean, just a complete sell-off here. We'll see if it wants to try to come back down. No, it's bouncing. All the way back down. I'm in. See if we can get that push down through. Added in another one. All right, so I took those out for just a scalp. Maybe the trend line goes, but so that one yielded me $240, that overall trade. I should still have one. Even if this bounces up, I'll still say, yeah, I should have still had one. But I picked up another one, which gave me some leeway so I could pull some profits off. And again, I should still have that one. So that was a bad trade on my part. If I had only gotten that one, yeah, maybe I probably wouldn't still be in because I'd be like, that one maybe came up. But given two, I had one to pull off some profits. And then that second one I pulled off. That was just me not really trusting the instincts that this trend line was going to fail. But, and as you see here, that cost me because I'd still have one right now. And this would have been worth, I don't know, probably up about $400 more now. Potentially going on, yeah. So, all right, well, it is what it is. I'll pause. Let's see if I can find another setup. All right, now looking at thinking about getting potentially short. That was the first time it rejected off that area perfectly. This time I'm just going to put my order up here. So yeah, if it wants to come up some more, I'd be interested in potentially trying to get short there. All right, I'll pause. Have an order to get 3 micros at that red line there. Just starting off small to give myself plenty of flexibility. Move it up a little bit more. There we go. In. Getting 3 micros. Take that out for a quick little scalp. If it wants to come back up here, I'd be interested. Again, I don't even know how much I made on that one, but that number right there increased. Was never going to make a whole lot to begin with because it was only 3 micros, but I was sacrificing profitability for flexibility. Sure, I could have went in huge, and I would have made a whole lot more, but I would have had zero flexibility within the trade. Had it kept going up, zero flexibility at all. So that's what there's always a give. Do you want profitability where if you're right immediately, yeah, you're going to make a lot of money, but in that situation, if you're wrong and it still goes against you, you really have no flexibility in the trade. Sometimes maybe that's the best way to go about it. Just all in and then just throw that stop right there, and it is what it is. Other times, maybe you want to give yourself some flexibility. But if you are right immediately, then, well, you're going to be wishing that you had just gone, bigger size. But if it goes against you, you're going to be thinking, I'm glad I gave myself flexibility. So always, the market's very, very efficient, give and takes all over the place. All right, I'll pause. All right, I'm watching this trend line here for a breakout. So would be interested if it can get up there, try to buy. But only willing to buy if it goes up through there. Watching closely. Or do I try to anticipate a break? If I try to catch the break, I might miss it. Decisions that we as traders face. Okay, in. Come on. Push. Out. I'm out. Wanted to see it go. And as it drops back down, may come back up, but in my thesis, it was going to break. It did pull back, and then I wanted to see it go. It broke, pulled back. I want to see it go, but now you can see it's just still putzing around. So it still may go, and that's fine, but irregardless, I played that right. For what I was expecting. Now, my ego really hopes that this falls. That way I look smart to have gotten out. I really don't want to see it go up, but even if it does, I played that right. It broke, it backed, yeah, yep. Yeah, bummer. I really like that break, too. I thought that had some hope to it. Gave it a chance, but you saw it just was hesitating, and then down it's gone. So you're going to be one of those kind of markets, huh? I mean, think about it. It broke the 200 period moving average, that pink line. It broke the VWAP, that dotted yellow line, and it broke the trend line. So it broke 3 key levels. And so in my mind, all right, let's go. And it went a little bit, enough to give me some green because it hesitated too much. But then look at that. Wow, that's disappointing. Now you could draw a trend line. This one can be gone. Do you draw a trend line down here to try to capture? Is this thing getting ready? Or is this going to do the opposite thing? Slight breakdown and then snap back up. Whole lot of chop. All right, I will pause. All right, looking to get long at that green line down there. Just one contract. Give myself some flexibility. Cancel it at this point. There's been some falling knives the past few days that have been just potentially account wrecking. And I will want to say the nice thing about a prop firm is even if, I mean, you don't want to wreck your account, but even if you do, what it actually costs you is very little out of pocket. So for example, if I were to go and lose basically $4,500, then this account would be toasted. It would be ruined, but the cost in is not even anywhere close to $4,500. So that's the nice thing about prop firms is you have very little of your money actually at risk. Again, that doesn't mean you go and you're trying to, wreck things or anything like that. I'm just saying there's that extra ease of mind where, if it doesn't quite work out, that's okay. Because it's not like I just, sure, in this, I would have lost $4,500, but out of my pocket, not that. All right, I'll pause. I'd really like to try to get up over $500. That's kind of my goal for this account. But it's always rough with arbitrary numbers like that because you can get very close and you should probably just be done trading. But you're like, well, I'm not quite at my quote-unquote goal. So you keep looking for trades and then, you could be at $497. And it's like, all right, let me find one more for that $3. And then before you know it, you take a loss. And then you take another loss. And then now you're in the hole. So I don't know. That's why I have mixed feelings, mixed thoughts on the whole, do you have a goal each day? I think I'd say I am more in the camp of the goal should just be to take quality setups every day. Because if there's a bunch of quality setups and then you stop trading because of some arbitrary number, well, now you're missing out on a bunch of good setups. But if there's really not that many good setups, and then you're trying to get to this arbitrary number, now you're trying to get to it in a very nasty environment. So I think I'm more of team trade the setups, not team hit the goal. But I realize the irony here because I'm kind of sitting here. I have this broad, loose $500 goal, but we'll see. I mean, this area, this is fascinating. This is fascinating to me, but it's also very kind of scary because we've seen how these trendline breaks in the past have worked to the upside. There is some news at 10 a.m. So, and it's 9:59. So you'll be able to tell when 10 a.m. is here. We'll watch it. This is why you want to watch it. There you go. Can you tell when 10 a.m. showed up? So that's why you want to keep an eye on the economic calendar. And wouldn't you know it? Now, granted, plenty of wiggle room there to scalp out of profit. I mean, that was a big break, but per the norm, broke, now back inside. So, a tricky day. All right, maybe looking to pick up something down here at these lows. I should go micros here. And not gonna, if I'm right away, not gonna make a whole lot, but at least it gives me some flexibility as it pushes down through those lows. I'll go down there at that green line. Again, just 3 micro, so plenty of wiggle room. Move it down now to 70 there. All right, I'll pause. All right, I am in. I apologize. I was not fast enough to capture the entry point, but I am in. See what it wants to do. Again, only 3 micros, but this is why I like the flexibility. Okay, bought some more. Come on, come up some more. All right, take out a little scalp there. Now we'll start the process over again down here at 9:30. All right, I'll pause. So I'm at $440 right now. Again, just the magical, mystical $500 number out there. Doesn't actually mean anything. I don't know why it's 500. Well, I do know why, because I've always had $500 a day keeps the day job away, just as a general kind of philosophy that try to not get too greedy on things. But down here, I have an order at 1681. I don't know why I didn't just short right here, right? Why didn't I just short right there all in? I mean, that's so obvious. I should have just shorted there. I'm kidding, by the way. There's always that one person on YouTube that's like, well, Clay, that's I know, you're right. That's bad joke. All right, I'll pause. All right, this is going to be my last trade. It'll stop me out for a small loss, or maybe I can get up over 500. So I am in. and I am out. So my stop is right there. Again, this thing either needs to bounce or it's going to come down, break new lows, and then I will be out. So we'll see what it wants to do. Again, just 2 micro, so it's nothing drastic. But again, this thing's either gonna, whoop, and just like that, got my answer. I am out. Ooh, I got a bunch of slippage on that. That was a way bigger loss than what I thought. Yikes, I got hammered with slippage on that. Well, that's disappointing. All right, I'm gonna call it good. So it is what it is. Didn't hit the $500. It happened. Still, though, all things considered, I've been trading for basically not that long, and I'm still up for a respectable amount of money. In other words, I would never go to someone that's making $50 an hour and complain about my results here, right? Because that person would look at me as a greedy savage. Wait, I make $50 an hour, and you're complaining about making what you did here in basically an hour? Wait, what? So, yeah, disappointed. That last one was very annoying, but it is what it is. So, green didn't quite hit the $500, even though as we've discussed, kind of an arbitrary number floating around out there anyways, but it is what it is. And then finally, I want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering. So if you're interested in learning more about the tools I'm using to build consistency, to manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you go to claytrader.com/live or just check out the link down in the description area, that will tell you when the next live class is. So I hope to see you there. So as always, if you appreciate these live videos, they're not the easiest to make because they are genuinely live. So having to trade and think and analyze and talk to you at the same time, it takes quite a bit. But as always, if you enjoy these, the easiest way to communicate that to me is twofold. Hit that like button, and a super free and easy way to support the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. But thanks everybody. Take care. Have a good one.